Okay, today we're going to be adding a bath fan to our Control4 project. So we'll start by opening Composer. So the control method for this fan is just a simple 8 amp switch from Control4. That's the C4-120. We'll look up the part number, make sure we know what we're working with. Connect to a local system. Select our EA5. So the problem you may have when adding a fan to a bathroom is that the fan will show up as a light if you use a switch to control it. So this way we can install the fan timer driver. The fan will show up in a Control4 interface as a fan instead of a light. I'm going to show you how to do that. Okay, so the project is up now. I'll collapse my rooms to make my room easier to find. Okay, so the room we're working in is the powder room. And so the first thing we need to do is add the switch that controls the fan. So select the My Drivers tab, scroll down to Lighting, and under Decor Lighting, this is the switch we want to add here, part number C4-SW120277. So we'll drag that switch into our room. And we're going to name it Fan. So really this, in terms of software, other than adding it to the Zigbee network, is all you really need to do to add a fan to your project. But as I mentioned, it's going to show up as a light, which is not right. So what we want to do first is identify this. We'll get it on the Zigbee network. So double tap, and we'll identify the device. So now that the device is identified, we're going to close this, go back to our system design, and as I mentioned, in the Control4 interface, we open it up, go to the powder room, and our device shows up as a light. We can turn it on and off. So we want to make this fan a fan, not a light. So we're going to search My Drivers. This is a local driver. Under the Timer Experience button, and this is an exhaust fan, or in software here called an extraction fan. So we'll use that driver to control this switch. So you can see the countdown timers here are all set by default. The only timer I want is a 10-minute timer. So set that. We could make this fan permanently on by removing the timers altogether and setting our permanent on as first selection to yes. And when we select the fan, it's a simple on and off. If we set our countdown timer to 10, and do a no permanent on. 10-minute timer, which will count down. When the timer expires, the switch will turn off. So I'm going to set my on color to this very light blue, which actually shows up white on the keypads. The pressed color, I'm going to make green, letting you know that it is a timed switch event. And our off LED color is also going to be this light blue. And that's just going to correspond to the rocker switch in the space, so that when the fan is on, the top LED is lit, and when the fan is off, the bottom LED is lit. Control method is going to be a light switch. You can see in the list here we also have options for relay and fan speed controller. So if you do have a centralized load for that fan down in a panel, you could select that and connect it to a relay module. You can also put a fan speed controller in here. Most bath fans do not have speed control. That's a ceiling fan feature typically, but if you did have a fan with speed control, you could use various speeds in your program as well. So you do need to have a fan attached to this driver instead of a switch. So for today's project, we are just adding this light switch. We're going to select the switch, which again is the powder room, fan, and so now this fan will control this switch. So we are almost done. So the last thing we need to do is get rid of this fan in our lighting navigator. So I'm going to select the room. We're going to go to navigators. I'm going to go to lighting, modify, and hide the fan switch from navigators. If instead I look at comfort, I can see my extract fan is here. It's hidden. I'm actually going to display that. So I'm going to modify this. We're going to put our extract fan in the list. I don't have any interfaces for the powder room, so it's really not that critical, but I'll show you how that works. Okay, and that concludes this video.